Hi, my name's Bo Cook. I'm a garden designer and Vectorworks trainer based in Sussex, and welcome to the third in my series of underused and misunderstood tools in Vectorworks. Today we're going to be looking at the command duplicate, which lives in the edit menu over here. So I'm going to use it on the same scenario that I showed you yesterday with the move by points tool, but I'm just doing it in a different way. First one I'm going to show you is duplicate. And that is, the shortcut for that is Command D or Control D if you're on a PC, or it's Edit Duplicate up in the Edit menu. So first of all, I'm going to select the tree. Then I'm going to click Duplicate. And it's done the first duplicate, it's just offset it slightly. If you don't see one, it's probably sitting directly on top of your original object. Now, that's great. You can just run a whole host of duplicates out and then go and put them into the right place. But what is handy with this tool is that Vectorworks will remember, if I put it back onto the top, and then if I drag it with my mouse, and tab in 2.8 meters, and then put the second one right next to it, Vectorworks is going to remember the distance and the orientation between those two duplicates, as long as I don't do anything else, in which case I'll break that connection. But it will, in the interim, remember that. So if I press Command D again, I can just keep pressing it until I'm finished, and it will remember the distance and that orientation. So it will run out a number of duplicates. Works really well when you're just using it, when you're just working on a few objects like this. It will also, let me just do Command D again. It's in the wrong place here. I'm going to put this one into the middle of the bed. So I've just moved it out and I've moved it back in, but Vectorworks will remember this distance and this orientation. If I press Command D again, it's now popped that one next to it. I can select all three, do Command D again, and then I'm just going to grab those three and move them into the middle of that bed. Now I've got 3 trees in one bed, 3 trees in the other, nicely centered. Now another command is the Edit Duplicate Along a Path tool. So I'm going to show you this. What we do is we have the object and then we select a path. So you won't be able to use it until you've got 2 objects selected. So in this scenario, I want to run a row of trees along this pathway. So it's like an avenue. So I'm going to select Duplicate Along a Path, and then I get this window pop up. Few things to think about. Do we want to have a number of duplicates, or do we want to set a fixed distance in between those duplicates? Do we want to center it on the path? Yes, we do. And do we want the object to be tangent to the path? So if it's tangent, it will spin itself, it will rotate itself so it is on the tangent line. And what we don't want in this instance is for that to happen, because I've got my gradient on, so it will reflect, the shadow of the tree will be in a different orientation, and that's not what we want. So I will show you both of those just so you can see what I mean. And then we have the option to start the offset just slightly in or very far in on that line. Again, I don't want to at this point. I want my first one to be at the very beginning. So if I just show you the preview, which is also another handy part of this command, we can just see, if we like, where they've gone. So that's without the tangent selected, but and then if I just quickly tick on to tangent and then do preview, you can see here the gradient has rotated itself because the path is going round, the path is curved, so we don't want that. But what was I going to say? Oh yes, so if we just go on to the preview without the tangent, you can see that my last tree isn't on the end because I've put a fixed distance, and I don't know what the distance is and what the distance should be between those trees if I want one right on the end. But I do know that there's 12 trees, so I can actually just run a number of duplicates, pop on preview, and you can see that last one is now on the end. Note the original object is still there. Once I click OK, that original object disappears. So now I have my nice avenue of trees, and I can delete out the path underneath. So another scenario where we can use that tool, which I use quite a lot, is when I want to do a brick edging on a on a terrace or a path. So here, remember, it does say to centre it on the path. So the first thing we have to do is to actually do an offset path, because otherwise it will stick that brick up there, and therefore it's going to have taken it off the actual edge of the path of the path or the terrace. So I'm just going to do a very quick offset, and I want to do half of that brick width, which I obviously I know what that is. I'm just showing you that you can also with Vectorworks pop in a formula and it will do the calculation for you. So the brick is 52 wide, it's obviously half is 26, but you don't have to worry about actually doing the maths on that. Vectorworks will help you out. So that's my path, that is my object. I'm just going to pull it out so you can see, and then I'm going to do duplicate along a path. Now I don't want to do my 12, as it will remember what you did before. I want my fixed distance. Each of those bricks is 215. They're going to be butt jointed. I don't want to start my offset at the moment. Centered on the path, and I'm going to do tangent to path now because I want them to follow that curve. So if I click onto preview, just move this out of the way, you can see now that the brick edge is following the curve of that terrace, and if I just accept actually, then you can see. You will have to do a little bit of tidying, it's inevitable, unfortunately, unless you've got a very well calculated area and shape. So yes, you will in some instances just have to do a little bit of a tidy up of that. I'm not going to, but I just wanted for this tutorial, but I just wanted to show you that that's something that you might have to do. So that's two scenarios where I use the duplicate along a path tool and where I use tangent and non-tangent to the path. Right, let's also have a look at let me just select the chair, the duplicate array command. Now this is quite handy. So there are three different ways of looking at doing an array. You can do a number of duplicates in a line or at an angle. You can resize them so they can get bigger as they move along. You can rotate them as they move along that line, and then you have the option to retain the original object. So that's just something to consider. That was a similar thing on the move by points tool that I showed you yesterday. You can also on the rectangle one I wanted to show you. Right, so this is another one where you can actually stack bricks and paving patterns quite quickly. So this is a rectangular array. So the first thing you would do is to draw your repeat unit. So it might be a basket weave pattern, it might be stack bond in paving, and you can then just say how many columns and how many rows you want. Then you state what the distance is between those columns and those rows. You can also work in this in 3D as well. You can rotate those duplicates if you want to. Obviously you're not going to if you're working with a paving pattern, and then you want to retain the original object. When you then do your click, it will then quickly expand out all of those duplicates, and then you've got your paving pattern done superbly quickly. Use that all the time, have a little go with that. But right now I just want to show you the circular array, and I want to put some chairs around this table. So I want to do, let's say, just to be annoying, I want 7 chairs, because I just want to show you using the formula in Vectorworks. So I want 7 chairs around this table. I don't know what that angle is, so I can put the formula in. So I can put 360 divided by 7, and Vectorworks is going to then work out what the angle is going to be between those chairs. So I don't have to get the calculator out. I, in this instance, want to do the next mouse click. I don't want to say what the X and Y coordinates are. I want to click into the middle of that table. So I select next mouse click. I don't want to resize the duplicates, but I do want to rotate them. Obviously, I don't want the chairs to all be facing down the page as they go around the table. I want them to be facing into the middle. So I can do a custom angle, but in this instance, obviously, I want to use the same as whatever this angle is going to be. And I want 7 duplicates, so I don't want to retain the original one because otherwise I'll just have 2 chairs stacked on top of each other. And then if I click OK, click into the middle, there you have it. Okay, so I hope that was useful. 3 different practical uses of the duplicate commands under the edit menu. Remember, if you want any particular tutorial, just write underneath of this YouTube channel, just pop me a comment and I will see if I can help. And I look forward to showing you number 4, which will be coming later today. Okay, bye.